In this episode, we are summarizing the final episode of one of the greatest series of all time, the 10th episode from Season 5 of the Wire series titled Dash 30 Dash. The episode first aired on March 9th, 2008. In the beginning, Mayor Carcetti, reeling from the revelation that the Red Ribbon Killer case, the now cornerstone of his anti-poverty platform, has been a complete lie made up by detectives McNulty and Friedman all along. Advised by his staff, including Chief of Staff Michael Staintorf, Carcetti decides to suppress the truth to protect his gubernatorial campaign, given his recent restructuring of the Baltimore Police Department, despite objections from Deputy Commissioner Cedric Daniels and State's Attorney Rhonda Perlman. The group agrees to quietly reassign McNulty and Freeman in exchange for their silence. Staintorf leverages the situation to offer Acting Commissioner Rawls the position of Superintendent of the Maryland State Police after the election. Unaware that their deception has been exposed, McNulty and Freeman continue their work. Freeman focuses on uncovering a mole who is leaking courthouse documents to Marlo Stanfield's defense team. He manages to identify grand jury prosecutor Gary DePasquale, who has gambling debts and a third mortgage. They go on to confront DePasquale, and he admits to selling documents to attorney Maurice Levi. Freeman records a conversation incriminating Levi, and he instructs DePasquale to resign quietly to avoid prosecution. Freeman later shares this evidence with Perlman, who is furious about the illegal wiretap used in the Stanfield case, and she reveals that she and Daniels already know about the fabricated serial killer story. While in jail, Marlo, Chris, Monk, and Cheese discuss Snoop's death, concluding that Michael Lee is an informant after all, but we know he truly isn't. Chris remains skeptical, but Marlo is denied bail due to his kingpin status. Marlo then orders Cheese to mobilize the crew to eliminate Michael because he is the only one who can post bail. Perlman, armed with Freeman's recording, blackmails Levi into settling the Stanfield cases out of court to conceal the illegal wiretap. Chris pleads guilty to multiple murders, accepting life without the possibility of parole. Monk and Cheese plead guilty to drug charges, facing up to 20 years each, and Marlo's charges are dropped on the condition he exits the drug trade permanent. Levi, suspecting an illegal wiretap due to the rapid decoding of Marlo's clock messages, threatens to expose the fraud in court, but is silenced by Perlman's leverage. Once he is freed, Marlo meets with the New Day Co-op to sell his connection to the Greek for $10 million, a price they accept to avoid having to deal with inferior drugs from New York. During the meeting, Ricardo Hendricks reminisces about Proposition Joe's leadership. This then prompts Cheese, who they all know was Prop Joe's nephew, to admit he turned his back on Prop Joe. After this declaration by Cheese, Slim Charles shoots Cheese down, and he tells the others that he did that for Joe. The group disperses, leaving Cheese's body behind. At the Baltimore Sun, Scott Templeton, chasing a Pulitzer, fabricates a story about a homeless man's attempted kidnapping, responding to the 911 call he placed. McNulty quickly sees through Templeton's lies, confirmed by an undercover officer posing as a homeless person. Instead of charging Templeton, McNulty lets him go. Editor Augustus Haynes, refusing to publish Templeton's false story, faces accusations of bias from managing editor Thomas Kublanow, who reassigns the article. When Templeton's notebook claimed to contain abduction details, it's revealed to be empty. Haynes confronts his superiors with evidence of Templeton's fabrications. Despite this, Templeton later goes on to win the Pulitzer for his Red Ribbon Killer coverage, while Haynes is demoted and reporter Almut Gutierrez is transferred to a smaller branch. Mike Fletcher, however, earns Haynes' approval with a moving article based on Bubbles. Bubbles, initially hesitant about Fletcher's article revealing his role in Sherrod's death, is reassured by his sponsor Wallen, who praises the honesty presented in the article. Bubbles agrees to its publication, confronting his guilt and beginning to heal. His sister finally welcomes Bubbles in for a family dinner, marking a step toward reconciliation. Later on, a new homeless man's murder, marked with a white ribbon mimicking McNulty's fake serial killer, shocks McNulty, Bunk, and Kima Greggs, as it indicates a new copycat. McNulty, Racked with guilt, faces media scrutiny, Daniels and Rawls berate McNulty, urging him to catch the copycat to pass them off as the original killer. Using evidence, McNulty identifies the perpetrator as a mentally ill homeless man he previously encountered. The man is charged with 2 murders he committed and sent to a psychiatric facility, allowing the Baltimore Police Department to claim the Red Ribbon Killer case is now closed. At a press conference, Carcetti takes credit for dismantling the Stanfield organization and resolving the killer case, promoting Daniels to commissioner and assigning Rawls as a City Hall advisor. The police department holds a mock wake for McNulty, who is effectively ousted from the homicide unit. Officers, including Sergeant Landsman, praise him as a real murder police despite his flaws. McNulty reconciles with Kima, who admits to reporting him and his fabricated serial killer story. McNulty then returns home to Beatty Russell. Freeman retires with his wife Chardine, while McNulty locates a vagrant he displaced during the fake case, driving him back to Baltimore too. In another scene, Daniels is ordered by Staintorf to manipulate crime stats, but he refuses, vowing to restore honest policing. City Council President Nerese Campbell threatens him with a file of his past as an Eastern District Sergeant, forcing his resignation. Daniels becomes a defense attorney, and this allows for the promotion of Ellis Carver to Lieutenant of Major Crimes before leaving. Perlman finally becomes a judge. Nerese Campbell becomes the mayor, and Stanislaus Wowchek is named commissioner. Rawls secures the state police role, and Carcetti becomes the governor of the state of Maryland, leaving the promises he made to the people of Baltimore far behind. The final episode closes with vignettes showing cyclical, never-changing, and never-ending patterns. Detective Sidnor mirrors McNulty back in season 1, when McNulty went to complain to Judge Felon about the commissioner's incompetence. Marlowe is himself trying to be legit for the first time at a party hosted by Levi's associates, but he feels out of place and reclaims the street corner to feel like he still has power. This also reminds us of Stringer Bell's failed transition from the streets into legitimate business. Dookie himself is now succumbing to addiction, and he uses heroin with the Arabic, reminiscent of Bubbles' past. Michael, now a stick-up kid like Omar Little, robs a rim shop with a shotgun. Chris and Weebay converse amicably in prison, while the co-op secures the Greeks' supply, with Vondas repeating his pitch to Marlowe to someone else again. The final shot of Baltimore's skyline underscores the city's enduring struggles that evolve and grow but tend to stay the same. That was episode number 60, titled Dash 30 Dash. To watch the episode summaries again, click on the link at the end of the episode to start over from the first episode on season 1, titled The Target. Every time that I rewatch The Wire, I learn something different about human nature. The writers are superb in their ability to get across how these characters feel and how they represent the different types of people that we encounter in these cities and throughout life in general. If you made it to the end of this video, remember I have summarized the entire series of The Wire, as well as other popular works of culture like literature, movies, and TV shows. The first episode summaries that I did was on The Sopranos. You will find those links also on the screen at the end of this video. I have playlists of all of my summaries in the description as well. Also, if you found the video to be valuable, share it with a friend and click like so that YouTube can recommend it to other viewers just like you. The best way to support this channel is by becoming a Patreon supporter, buying us a coffee, or buying something from our merchandise store. You will find those links in the description. Doing this helps our channel out tremendously. I truly thank you for your support. I will be doing additional videos on The Wire, diving into some of the philosophies described and outlined in the show. Stay tuned for those as well. Thank you for your support over the years, and I'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.